Hi everybody and welcome to this week's episode of The Awareness Angle. As always, I'm Anthony Davis and with me today is Luke Pettigrew. Hello Luke.
Hey Anthony. Hey everyone.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's Christmas.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Pretty standard for me, but yeah, it was good. How about you?
Yes, eaten too much, drunk too much, the kids were too much. Yeah, it was a successful Christmas all round, really. It's nice to escape for a little while and get some peace and quiet in my sanctuary here, which is quite nice. Yeah. Yes, and I watched Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom today. My son's mad on Indiana Jones and we've never let him watch Temple of Doom. So today I introduced him to that and he was fine with it, even with all the, gory bits, and it's definitely the darkest of the films. So
yeah,
so that was fun.
So
that was
nice. Christmas movie?
There's nothing Christmassy in it, that's for sure. But it was on Channel 4 one day this week. It was on one of the TV stations one day this week. So I was like, what the hell? Might as well. So yeah, it was worth a watch. Right. Should we get on with it? We're going to have a whistle-stop episode this week because it is between Christmas and New Year. So if you're listening to this much later on, that's why we're talking about Christmas, because we're recording this in the middle of Christmas and New Year. So should we get on with the news?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Excellent. Right. Well, news items this week. Zimperium, what a cracking name. Zimperium have announced mobile spearfishing targets executive teams. So this was an article from December the 18th. And this is a spearfishing campaign targeting execs, spearfishing, obviously, but really targeted on accessing their mobile devices. So I know a lot of execs probably spend most of their time checking their emails and stuff on a phone. So it makes sense that this would be the target. But essentially it's on mobile devices. The experience is different as if it was on desktops. So on desktops or laptops, users are directed to legitimate Google sites like support.google.com or mail.google.com. But if it detects that they're on a mobile browser, then additional redirections tries to identify the platform they're in, and then it takes them to a cloned Google sign-in page. So I guess it's harder to spot a phishing landing page on mobile is what they're thinking than on desktop. But that's one worth having a look at and worth doing some awareness on.
Yeah, just had a quick look within that story, and a term I've not heard, mishing.
Mishing?
I guess they've come up with that one maybe, but mobile-specific targeted phishing emails or campaigns.
Mishing. We'll add that to the. We should have ishing bingo. We should have an ishing bingo card.
Yeah,
we've talked about between us. We've talked about wishing before, which is WhatsApp phishing, and you've obviously got smishing and vishing. So now you've got mishing. I wonder if you could get that alphabet of ishing. I wonder what that would look like. Yeah, maybe we should have a think about that. See, yeah, A would be ishing. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, all the details are in the article and we'll put that in the newsletter and the show notes. The next one I thought was quite interesting, and this we talk about AI. Everyone talks about AI, but this was quite interesting. So AI, this is from Hacker News. AI could generate 10,000 malware variants, evading detection in 88% of cases. Now, from an awareness perspective, I think this is quite a big one, right? Because essentially what people are doing is giving large language models, criminals can prompt large language models to perform transformations that are much more natural looking, that makes detecting the malware more challenging. Right. So here's some malware large language model, make it look less malware-y, and therefore the security platforms struggle to spot the real malware, which obviously brings you back to the user as being the kind of last link in the chain, as it were. So
it's an interesting one.
I'll tell you why I think this is interesting is because if you've got users out there that think, oh, my machine's safe because it's got antivirus, or it's got CrowdStrike, or I'm safe because, you know, the information security team have got security tools.
Yeah.
This is a good story to say that's not good enough. You can't rely on the security tools. So, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? We're going to see more and more of this as time goes on, I would imagine.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So that's, we'll put that in the newsletter as well, from Hacker News. I got an email just before we were going to do the show, actually. It was an email from CyberSafe, and Joe Giddins at CyberSafe, it was sharing an article which is actually a couple of years old, but it's probably quite relevant as we come back to work in a new year. And the article is on Medium, and it's the real reason people ignore security awareness training. And it talks about psychological reactants. Tidy a room, wear a mask, use a strong password. What do you feel when you hear those masks? When you hear those words? Frustration, anxiety, anger. That's normal, and that feeling is psychological reactants. It's your brain's reaction to potential threat to your freedom or limitation of choice. It's quite an interesting article, and it gives quite a nice perspective. And as we're going into the new year and thinking about ways to do things, I'm sure a lot of people will be doing training in the new year or starting to think about annual training. So this is quite a nice freshener to think about it in a clear way. So
yeah, I'll have to give that one a read as well.
Yeah, could be useful.
Well.
Could be useful. Right. I think that's all we had for the news today. It's been a quiet week. Most people are at home.
Quick one.
Yeah. Most people haven't been at work for the last few days, so that's probably a good thing. Okay. Let's move on to the comments section.
Yeah.
So we had a comment on YouTube this week.
Yeah, we did on the previous episode.
Right. From Lilac Scepter 223. Do you think that management, including C-suite, needs specific awareness / culture training? And is this a thing in practice?
Good question.
Yeah. And really, really topical as well, because people in Europe, in our world in Europe, will be aware that NIS 2 has come into force this year. NIS 2 is the Network and Information Security Directive 2, and it replaces NIST 1 or NIS 1 to address some of the shortcomings in NIS 1, basically. But the scope on NIS 2 has expanded, and this was adopted by the European Parliament in November 2022. Member states of the European Parliament were required to transpose NIS 2 international law by October 2024. So it should already be in law. It isn't yet in many countries. I think Belgium has, Croatia has, a draft law has been proposed in Greece. Hungary has, Latvia has, and Lithuania has, but a load of other countries in Europe are still working their way through getting it on board, essentially. Why NIS 2 is relevant is because in a really non-committal way, NIS 2 states that boards must complete security awareness training because they're liable for the security of these businesses. So I'm sure there's much more detail in it somewhere, but it's an interesting one because NIS 2 saying, yes, training, but your C-suite must be trained in information security. That there's two things that bug me about that. Number one, training, it should be educated, because there's ways to educate other than training, because like Joe Giddins from CyberSafe said in that thing, the minute you mention training, it's like, there's ways to educate that isn't training. But also, what defines training? What defines, and this is going to be, everybody's going to have a different interpretation. I mean, personally, I would go as light as possible, minimum requirements. We know I can imagine a lot of boards aren't doing annual training because their time is too valuable. I imagine, what was the question? Do you think that management needs specific awareness culture training? And is this a sin in practice? Yes, boards should have training. I think it probably needs to be delivered in a slightly different way, or done in a way that they will get and engage with. I don't think expecting them to complete the normal training journey is realistic. They should set an example. Yeah. But in reality, they won't. Yeah.
I think it's one of those things, like, I guess there's other ways to do it, like in person where you can, or like a trainer-led session or something would probably satisfy. That obviously, again, though, time zones, even for some people, but it's a challenging thing to get.
I would imagine if you asked your board to complete 15 minutes of online training, or you asked for half an hour to present and discuss with them training, I would imagine you'd stand more chance of getting the 30 minutes at some point than getting them in their own time to go to a computer and sit down for 15 minutes to complete digital learning.
Yeah. I think so,
and then that 30 minutes can be a discussion. You tell the story, and then they can ask questions. And then because it's an interactive session, the knowledge transfer as well is going to be so much greater than a 15-minute online course.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I agree, yeah. I think as well, like, you can be a bit more specific, and obviously they're high value targets, and there's lots of techniques that can be done to get information or data or money from them. So it's definitely a bit different than your usual employee. But it'd be interesting to hear from our audience, like security professionals, what their plan is for those in EU countries, I guess, that need to do it.
Yeah.
And even other countries, like in the US, I wonder what kind of things there are for that. I don't really know, to be honest.
Yeah. It'd be really good to hear how engaged your board was and how you deliver training to your C-suite. I think that would be it's obviously a really topical question. And I don't know, like, I haven't seen, maybe I just haven't looked, right? But I don't recall seeing stuff like that about in the various culture studies that people run. And it might be out there. I should probably go and have a look. But if anyone is listening and they want to tell us, either email us, hello@riskycreative.com, or pop a comment on one of the videos or one of the podcasts, and let us know how you deliver training and what training, in what format you deliver to your C-suite. That'd be really, really interesting to hear, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you, Lilac Scepter 223, for your comment. That's a really useful one.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about training in more detail at some point as well, maybe over the next couple of weeks as the new year comes. Maybe that's people start thinking about annual training, I bet. So maybe that's something we'll go into a bit more conversation about over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Right. Next up tonight, I've got a couple of topics I wanted to talk about quickly.
Yep.
I realise I've done all the talking so far, but I will give you a chance in a little while, Luke, I promise.
That's right. I mean, I've only got one story to tell today, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play you... I'm going to play you a little clip and we'll see if this works, okay? Because I received a video from a friend of mine and I was pretty sure that this was an AI video, okay? And I even said it to him in the chat. I was like, this video, that's a really convincing AI video. But I thought it was AI. And I've just yesterday, okay, I was with my brother and he was telling me, have you seen the trailer for the new Simpsons movie? I'm like, what? And it's like, yeah, they're doing a live action Simpsons movie. It's got Adam Sandler in it. And I'm like, really? Adam Sandler as Homer? And I've seen this. I've seen the screenshot floating around YouTube for ages, right? But it's an AI generated, all-star cast, live action Simpsons thing. And I actually think he thought it was real, which obviously a lot of people would. It's not real. So let me just play you a clip from this, and anyone watching on YouTube will be able to see it as well. And yeah, I thought this was real. You can't hear it, can you? Hang on.
Not a minute.
I'm a baking king. Baking is my thing. So come into my ring.
No, it's incredibly wrong. Those aren't the words at all.
So
It does scream a bit AI deepfake, doesn't it?
So reasons I thought this was AI and deepfake, right? The picture quality is quite poor. It's a Facebook video that's cut and looks like different things. Mm-hmm. So that was one. Jamie Oliver and Taylor Swift sharing a video doesn't seem like something that would happen today. Taylor Swift's huge. Jamie Oliver's big, but Jamie Oliver's not Taylor Swift big. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be one hell of a coup to get them together. So all in all, I like that, and the poor quality and stuff. I was like, oh, it looks like AI. I was watching it on a phone. And then I thought, well, maybe it's not. So I Googled it. And there's like a 4K quality version of this video that was done for a charity called Stand Up for Cancer here in the UK 10 years ago. And that's obviously one of Taylor Swift's older songs. So this was actually real. But I was there assuming it was AI because it ticked some boxes for me with like poor quality, soft focus and, you know, low res and that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I thought that was quite interesting. That I've always kind of prided myself on being able to spot AI, and here I actually got it the wrong way round. I was too suspect.
I think sometimes, you can sort of second guess yourself and think, that's AI, or that, sometimes it is real.
This is why it's really important to verify, really important to check your sources, and before you believe or disbelieve anything in this case. So that was one.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to share this week was a video, and I won't play it now, but I'll share it in the newsletter. Hayden from Know Before shared a video with me that I'd seen ages ago but had forgotten about. And it's a great video to share with your team. It's by Action Fraud, and it's how private is your personal information. So this is one where people are going in a coffee shop, and before they get I think they get free coffee if they like the coffee shop's page on Facebook.
Yeah.
So people are there, and there's all hidden cameras. People are outside the cafe and they're liking it on Facebook, and then they're going in and going, oh, can I get a coffee? And what's happening is the minute they've liked that page, then there's people outside in a van going on Facebook and building up a whole social profile of these individuals. And the barista that is making their coffee has got an earpiece in, and someone out in the van is going, yep, they're married to someone called so-and-so, they went to this school, they are Christian, they do this, they do that, and they're writing all this on their coffee cup.
Yeah.
They go, oh, here's your latte. And when they give them their latte, it's got their full name, and it's got their age and where they went to school, and all the details are written on their, and they're like, how did you get that? And it's it basically, it says, be careful what information you make public.
Yeah.
Which
it's quite a powerful video, that one.
It's old. It's like 8 or 9 years old, but it's still so relevant. It's still bang on the money, which is really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one to share.
That tied in. You reminded me as well, Carry On, which is the new Netflix, not new now, but Netflix film, Carry On.
About a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. Similar thing happens, doesn't it? Where they're basically building a profile of someone to find out all about them. Man in a van with an earpiece on in front of the computer.
It's quite quite a common thing maybe that happens in some Hollywood films, but yeah, it happens obviously in real life, which, as you can see in that video.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it before for some execs, just to kind of build a profile. And it's difficult to know how to weaponize that. Well, weaponize in a good way in your organization, but that's something that if you've got a senior figure that is quite up for a game or up for being used, then you could try some OSINT on them and use that in an awareness campaign, get them to lock down their profiles and lock down their online persona. Some of it, when it's out there, it's already out there. But if you've got an exec that's got an open Facebook or an open Instagram or, Flickr or dormant accounts they've forgotten about because they don't do it anymore, you'd be surprised what you could find out about some of them. Yeah,
there's always little bits of information that can be built up to, I guess, hack someone, basically, or socially engineer them. So yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about today was where it was a sad day earlier this week because my favorite ad blocker, uBlock Origin, stopped working on YouTube because it violates YouTube's terms of service. And I think I understand it's a real double-edged sword, right? Because YouTube is free unless you buy YouTube for premium, which is ridiculously expensive. YouTube is free and it's supported by ads. They make money because of ads. So I get that ads need to exist, but the ads are incredibly intrusive sometimes, very long and completely irrelevant.
Yeah, they've gotten worse, I think.
Oh, I've never had a car on finance with Moto Nova or Black Horse, and I see that advert all of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's every video you get like free ads, 20 seconds, 30 seconds long. Yeah. You skip along in the video and you get another ad. It's almost unwatchable now.
Yeah.
But I guess they want you to buy premium, but it is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. And I think premium is more expensive than Netflix, Spotify. I think it's more expensive in this country, in the UK anyway. I think it's more expensive than a lot of the other subscriptions. But uBlock used to work. We used to recommend uBlock. And the other reason I used to recommend an ad blocker is because in the Google search results, and this is what I think is disgusting. In the Google search results, if you search for, quite often, search for a piece of software, you'll get 5 Google ads. And it used to be just 2, but now you can get up to 5 Google ads, which is means you get 1 organic result before the fold. But then those 5 Google ads, 3 of them could be dodgy. 3 of them could contain links to malicious software. And Google just aren't good. We're going to get kicked off YouTube because I'm complaining about Google. Google just aren't good at filtering that out. And I think it's like uBlock as a safety tool had its use. Maybe if there was, I don't know. I think it's really irresponsible that the ads and the malicious ads in the Google search aren't dealt with better. And that's why
you see a lot, don't you, in the news about malicious Google ads where they're imitating a known brand of a fake domain and catching you out. But I'm surprised that they don't get caught sooner, to be honest. Or just automatically blocked, but yeah. When's ad blockers completely going? Has it happened yet? On Chrome, at least?
On Chrome, I think it is. I think they're pretty much dead because Chrome had killed. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what it was called, but the platform. I can't remember
something.
Either. Was it something 2? Began with an M? I can't remember. The platform that they were based on has been upgraded to a new version that doesn't allow the cookie inspection, apparently, or something. And it's to generate more money, I think. I think a lot of people were moving to Firefox from Chromium-based browsers because Chromium browsers are all the same, so Edge and Chrome, obviously. So I think a lot of people were moving to Firefox, which might still work, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a sad day that uBlock stops working. I think we're all going to get a little bit less safer now as well. That's the concern. So if you're in a business and you had users using an ad blocker, now is the time to communicate that it's dead, and they might start seeing more adverts. I think that's definitely something you need to make them aware of.
If you're a user, you definitely get used to it, and then you suddenly see all these ads around the web pages and pop-ups and stuff, which they seem like a thing of the past, but they'll probably start appearing a bit more.
Yeah.
It's good messaging to talk about.
Yeah. That is, I had one other thing I just wanted to mention, and I'll mention that now before you go on to yours. If anyone's got a new device, if any of your users have got new devices, first messaging in the new year. So, my daughter received a text message from a random number that just said, "Can I have a brief chat?" And that was it. And she was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "That's clearly spam." My mother-in-law got a text message from a new number that just said, "Hello." And she came over and said, "Oh, has anyone got a new phone or a new number? Because I got this message." And she was going to reply to it thinking it was one of her grandchildren that got a new number.
Yeah.
And start a conversation. But obviously, these are just social engineering tactics. So a great message at this time of year, but also like it's relevant all year. If you get a message from an unknown number, treat it with the utmost suspicion. You know, if it's anyone you know, if you don't have the number saved in your phone book, then, and it's really, "Can I have a brief chat? Hello, are you there?" I would treat it with suspicion, delete it. I wouldn't even bother replying, because they can always give you a call and go, "Hi, Nan. Hi, Mum. That's me. It's my new number." So that's probably a good one to tell your people.
Yeah. I think as well, obviously, the sort of standard thing of verifying it through a different way. Reach out to them on like Facebook or whatever, if they have it, or phone the landline or something, like the home phone.
Yeah. Well, that's what my mother-in-law waited till she came round here and asked us in person. She was like, "Has someone got a new number? I got this message." And we're like, "No, it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be spam." My daughter came and asked me, she's like, "What should I do with this?" And I put the number in my phone and I was like, "I haven't got it. It could be one of your friends, but if it is, they can call you or message you again. Just delete it."
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right. That's me done. What have you got for me?
Cool. Probably just one story for today. So yeah, this quite a strange one. I guess something I learned from it, which is I received an email from Google with a verification code, unexpected to my personal email address. But the way it was worded was, so we've received a request to access your Google account name at gmail.com through your email address. Your Google code is this, and I didn't request that, and that also isn't an email address I have, as far as I'm aware of or can remember. It basically has one more character than what my email has. But the other weird thing in the to address, it came to my email, but without a full stop between, like, my personal email address is first name dot last name, but shortened last name. But I didn't realize that if you're a Gmail user, you own every email address with the dots in it. So you could have 20 dots in your email address and you still receive those emails. But I didn't know that till did a little bit of research, because it showed in there. We'll put the screenshot in the newsletter, but it says in brackets, "Yes, this is you," which is quite a suspicious looking thing to put in there. But
looking at that screenshot, I saw the "Yes, this is you," and I was like, "Wow, that's unusual."
Yeah, it's,
it must know that that's not. I think whatever you sign in as. So I knew about the dots, right? Because years ago I messed up. I had, don't ask me why, I had a Microsoft account but I logged in with my Gmail address. And I think I forgot the password and the recovery didn't work or something. So I created another one with a couple of dots in it because my email address is shortened first name, middle initial, last name. So I think I put shortened first name dot, middle initial dot, last name at. I don't know why I'm being I've told everyone my name so they can work that out. It's not a problem. So I knew about the dots. Did you know also that you can have pluses?
Yeah, so that I knew. With Gmail,
like at the end,
a Gmail
you can add a
well?
plus. It is a Gmail thing.
Yeah.
So like anything before the at, you take it and then before the at you put plus sign. And a lot of people use this when they sign up for a new service. They'll put like plus Facebook or plus Instagram, and then also that can help track breaches. So if like your email address with it, but I mean you have to like get into the habit of doing that from the beginning and carry on doing that. It's
something you'd want to start fresh with, but that was quite a strange email.
I love the fact though. So technically now you could access that person's email account.
Yeah, so I could have at that moment I could have logged into this person's email, and the other thing I was a bit confused about is that my email address is down as their recovery email, which I don't know. Maybe I do own this email address, but I don't remember making it, to be honest. But
and
it's almost
now
like
here's the dilemma: do you go and sign into it to see if it's yours, potentially accessing someone else's email account? Or do you just leave it alone?
Well, I mean, who knows? They could have accidentally put my email in there by mistake, typo or something. But it did give me the option to, if this is incorrect, so you click here to remove your email as the recovery email. But it was just a bit of a strange out of the blue thing. Yeah. I did a bit of research on Reddit as well and saw someone with a similar thing, but it was more to do with the dots in the email, and I'd have to double check, but it was something along the lines of they were basically receiving someone else's email because of it, but I'm not sure if that was a Gmail account or not. But so it's always a bit strange when you get a random verification code come through, and I guess one of the safest things to do is kind of ignore it, really.
Well, the other option is obviously someone's knocking on the door of this email account, hoping that someone will let them in, or testing what the security posture's like. And they might have hoped that maybe they've got access to another account and they were hoping that was the recovery account. Or this could just be they might have genuinely put the wrong, like maybe they meant to put that address but at hotmail.com rather than gmail.com. So maybe the message here is check your recovery accounts are correct. That would be a good tester. I wonder if there's I wonder if you have to verify your recovery account, because I bet if you do now, I bet you there was a time when you didn't, where you could just put, this is my recovery email, enter, saved. Whereas now you would like to think that enter your recovery email address, save, you've been sent a verification code, go to your email and click on it to verify that this account exists. You would hope that was the thing now. Yeah. Good story. That's good. That's it's an interesting one. It's funny, isn't it? Like stuff like this happens, like you or me. There's frequently stuff like this will happen to you or me, and we can talk about this. It's weird how frequent people must experience stuff like this. And then what do? I know, like some people in my life would panic when they got that, and they wouldn't know what to do, and they'd worry. And that's when mistakes happen. Yeah,
you start clicking something back and you've let the hacker in.
Exactly.
No, I have another, I'll save it for next time, but I have another interesting story.
Ooh.
But look forward to it next time, I guess, for those that are listening.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be good next time.
Yeah, we can Have you got much else for the rest of this, or is this nearly it?
No, we're done.
Bit quicker
That's
than
everything we've got on the list for today. So that's cool. Yeah.
bit of a short one.
Next time, I think next time is going to be our first one for January. So I think we'll talk about plans for 2025, I think, next time. You and me have both got some new beginnings and stuff in 2025. So, you know, we're both kind of starting things afresh. So it's, let's talk about what, maybe we should do some predictions of what we think 2025 will bring.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I did think of something really good the other day. I can't remember it right now, but I did think of something really good and I was like, I bet 2025 is going to be full of that.
Yeah. Remember it for the next episode. And I guess for those that are listening, feel free to comment as well, your predictions. Interested to hear them.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we should get a, we should probably talk about this offline, but we should get a contact form on the Risky Creative website. Rather than just an email address. So you can email us at hello@riskycreative.com. And what we'll do, we'll get a contact form on there as well. So if you've got questions for us or things you think we should discuss or mention or something you'd like us to bring to the show to talk about, you can go there, fill in the contact form and, we'll try and discuss it on the show. I think that's probably a good idea. We should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely look into that.
Cool. Okay. Right. Well, that's all from me. That's all from you?
Yeah, for this week. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, Luke. And thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, click the bell, leave us a review on the podcasting platforms if you're listening. They're really, really important. Apple Podcasts especially, reviews and ratings really, really help. More than listens, reviews and ratings help the podcast do better on Apple Podcasts. So if you are listening on a podcast platform, please like and leave a review if possible. Hopefully a good one, but a bad one is also constructive, I suppose.
Yeah, no, even if, just be honest, I guess, be nice to see what people think and if there's things to improve and do more of or do less of. So yeah,
the podcast, we're doing the podcast, but it's for awareness people, right? It's for people working in security. So if there's something you want to hear us talk about or a feature you want us to include, or if there's something we're doing that you don't like, let us know, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll be back next week. Don't forget the podcast launches every Monday morning, and sign up for the newsletter as well at riskycreative.com. or me on LinkedIn, which is LinkedIn. If you search for me or InfoSecAnt, you can find me there and the newsletter's there. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony.
Speak again next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.